Hello, today we are going to study a topic of quadratic equations which is called location of roots. So these are the takeaways from this topic. This is what we are going to be able to answer after we study this topic. So we'll be able to find out, uh, let's say we have an equation x square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation. For this equation, we will be able to find out when the roots are positive, negative, or of opposite signs. We can also find out when the roots are greater than or less than any specific number, let's say some k. We'll be also able to find when the roots are in between two given numbers, or if the two numbers are in between the two roots. We'll also be able to find the condition when any root is in between two given numbers. Okay, so we'll study all these conditions one by one and we will understand what they mean. So let's turn up to the first condition, that is when both the roots are greater than a number k. So what does this mean? So this thing can be very easily depicted through the graph of the quadratic function. Okay, so here we are going to study the condition when ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 will have two roots, both of which are greater than a number k. So let's see, k be any number which is less than alpha and beta, and in this case k will be here, this is alpha and beta. So this is a number line, x-axis. Okay, and k is any number which is on the left of alpha and beta both, so that is a number less than alpha and beta. Okay, so for this equation, this is the equation when a is greater than 0, and this is the equation when a is less than 0, as we all know it. So now, when can we say that alpha and beta, both the roots of this quadratic, will be greater than this number k? So if alpha and beta, both of them are greater than this number k, that means, first of all, the roots must be real, then only we can compare them. So d should be greater than equal to 0 in both the cases. Okay, now minus b by 2a is the number which lies just in between of alpha and beta. So minus b by 2a will be greater than k because it is the mean of alpha and beta, and in this case also minus b by 2a will be greater than k. So we can say that minus b by 2a should be greater than k. Now for the third condition, we can say that when a is greater than 0, f of k, that means the value of this function. What is the function? The function that we are drawing is ax square plus bx plus c. So the value of this function at k is f of k. So this f of k is positive when a is positive, and then this f of k is negative when a is negative. That means we can say that the product of a and f of k is always positive, negative into negative, positive into positive. So that means a into f of k is a positive number. So these three conditions are the conditions when both roots will be greater than a number k. Let's move on to the next condition. So the next condition is when both the roots will be less than a given number k. So for both the roots to be less than a given number k, the graph will look like this in the first case and this in the second case. Okay, In this case, a is greater than 0. In this case, a is less than 0. And fx is obviously ax square plus bx plus c. And we are solving fx equal to 0. So again we can see that d must be greater than equal to 0. Why? Because the roots must be real in order to compare them with something. Okay. Minus b by 2a. So minus b by 2a is the mid value of alpha and beta. So again we can say that minus b by 2a is less than k because it is falling on the left hand side of k on the x-axis. So minus b by 2a will be less than k. Now f of k is positive when a is positive and f of k is negative when a is negative. So again we can see the same condition that we saw in the last case, that a into f of k will be positive. So these are the three conditions for both roots of the given equation x square plus bx plus c equal to 0 to be less than a given number k. Okay, now let's move on to the next condition. So the next condition is when both the roots will lie on either side of a fixed number. So what does that mean? That means that if we draw the graph of fx equal to ax square plus bx plus c on the x-axis, these are the two cases. This is the first case when a is greater than 0. This is the second case when a is less than 0. So when we draw the graph of fx on the x-axis, then we have to find the condition such that both the roots lie on either side of a fixed number. Okay, so the roots are on either side of a fixed number. That means the numbers must lie in between the roots, so that one root is on the left side and the other is on the right side. Okay, it can lie anywhere in between the roots, anywhere. So I will put it in this case over here, alpha and beta. Okay, so in this case we can say that f of k is negative when a is positive and f of k is positive when a is negative. So we can say that a and f of k have opposite signs. This means that a into f of k will be less than 0. For this case, we need not consider discriminant. Why discriminant is not needed here? Because for a less than 0, f of k, if f of k is positive, that already means that the roots are existent and a is positive. Because if a is less than 0 and f of k is also negative, that means the roots are non-existent, and that is not the required condition for this case. So the condition for D is already covered in this. Okay, so let's move on to the next condition. This is the condition when exactly one root lies in between the interval k1 and k2. That means that k1 and k2 contain one root and only one root. So if I write alpha and beta as the two roots, this is the first case when a is greater than 0. Again, this is the next case when a is less than 0. We have the equation. We have the function x square plus bx plus c, and the equation is fx equal to 0. Okay, so what this condition says is that we have exactly one root which lies in interval k1 and k2. So let's say this alpha in this case is lying between k1 and k2. So we'll plot k1 on the left side of alpha and K2 on the right side of alpha. Similarly, we can also plot K1 on the left side of beta and K2 on the right side of beta, because it is saying exactly one root lies, so it can be alpha or it can be beta. Okay, so now let's see the condition. We can easily see that the function takes the value f of k1 at k1 and f of k2 at k2, and the signs of these two values are opposite. If f of k1 is positive, f of k2 is negative. Similarly, for the second case, if f of k1 is positive, f of k2 is negative. Okay. Okay, so that means that we can easily say f of k1 into f of k2 is negative for one root to be lying in between k1 and k2. Okay, so this is the condition required for this case. So let's move on to the next case. The next case says that we have to find the condition when both the roots of the equation are confined between the numbers k1 and k2. So what does this statement mean? The statement means that if we have a function f(x) equal to ax square plus bx plus c and the equation f(x) equal to 0 given, and we have to find the roots of f(x) equal to 0 obviously, then we will plot f(x) equal to x square plus bx plus c on the x-axis with the two cases, the first being a greater than 0 and the second being a less than 0. So when we plot the graph of the function, this statement means that both the roots are confined between the numbers k1 and k2. That means k1 and k2 are enclosing both the roots. k1 is less than alpha and k2 is greater than beta. So in this case, k1 will be here, this is alpha, beta, and then this is k2. So k1 is less than alpha and k2 is greater than beta, and alpha and beta, both of them, lie in between k1 and k2. This is the meaning of the given statement. Okay, so now we are going to find the condition. The first condition will be if two roots exist, if two roots are real, obviously they should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, now when we see f of k1, we can see that when a is positive, f of k1 is positive. When a is negative, f of k1 is negative. When a is positive, f of k2 is positive. When a is negative, f of k2 is negative. That means that a and f of k1 and f of k2, all of them follow the same sign, and a, f of k2 and f of k1, they follow the same sign. Okay, so when a is positive, f of k1 is positive, so the product will be positive. When a is negative, f of k1 is negative, so the product is always positive. When a is positive, f of k2 is positive, that means a into f of k2 is positive. When a is negative, f of k2 is also negative, that means the product is negative positive. So these are the two conditions, the second condition and third condition. Now the fourth condition. After these three conditions, we can also see that the midpoint of alpha and beta, which is minus b upon 2a, will always lie in between k1 and k2. It is obvious because the point is in between k1 and k2 on the x-axis. So we can say that minus b by 2a will be greater than k1 and less than k2. Okay, so this is the condition when both the roots are confined between numbers k1 and k2. Now let's move to the next condition. So in this case, we have to find two different numbers are confined within the roots. We have to find the condition when this occurs. Okay, so it's simple. In the other case, it was the roots that were confined between the numbers. In this case, we have a function fx equal to ax square plus bx plus c of whose graph will draw. The roots of equation fx equal to 0 are alpha and beta. They will be plotted alpha and beta for two cases when a is greater than 0 and the second case when a is less than 0. Okay, so two numbers k1 and k2 have to be confined between the roots. That means k1 and k2 will be lying in between the roots, and it is given that k1 is less than k2, so k1 will come before k2. k1 and this is k2. Okay, fine. So we have to find the condition when this occurs. Let's see k1. So at k1, the function f of k1 is negative where a was positive. So they are of opposite signs. For k2, f of k2 is negative and a is positive. Again, they are of opposite signs. Let's see if this pattern follows in the second case. F of k1 is positive, a is negative. That's cool. F of k2 is positive and a is negative. That's perfect. That means the same pattern follows for those two equations, for those two graphs. Okay, that means a into f of k1 will be negative and a into f of k2 will also be negative, because whenever a is positive, f of k1 is negative, and a is negative, f of k1 is positive, and same for the second case. These are the two cases for the condition when two numbers k1 and k2 will be confined between the roots. Okay, so we have learned how in different cases we get different conditions for the location of roots, and based on these we are going to solve some problems. Okay, so let's move on to some basic problems based on this type. The first problem for us is that we have to find the condition when we have to find the value of k for which one root of the equation is given is x square minus k plus 1 into x plus k square plus k minus 8 equals 0. So one root of this equation exceeds 2 and the other is less than 2. So let's see what this means when we plot the graph. So in this case, it says that one root exceeds 2 and the other is less than 2. That means 2 is in between the roots, alpha and beta. Okay, and this is case when a is positive, since in this case the coefficient of x square is positive. So this graph will follow. We can see that f of 2 in this case is negative. So the only condition which was applicable over here was a into f of k was less than 0. So in this case, since a is positive, so f of k will be less than 0. And what is k here? K is 2. So this means f of 2 will be less than 0. So we put 2 in place of x. So we get 4 minus k plus 1 into 2 plus k square plus k minus 8 is less than 0. That means k square plus k minus 2k, which is minus k minus 8 minus 2 minus 10 plus 4 is minus 6 less than 0. So that turns out to be k minus 3 into k plus 2 is taking 0. When we solve it through Vesical method, we can see that on the number line, this is -2 and this is plus, minus, plus. We will take the negative one. So we are getting the region -2 to 3. That means k belongs to -2, comma 3. If we get any value of k which is lying in between -2 and 3, we can surely say that for that k, 2 will lie in between alpha and beta, which are the roots of the given equation.